Okay, NBMooselover, got a moose video here. This was an evening that I went out in a cutting with my tripod, my camera, and see if I could get some wildlife, and especially moose. And this little deer showed up, kind of snuck right in, didn't even see me, and just feeding here. And she's gonna turn out to be my good luck charm. In a few minutes here, I was just filming her off and on. And she worked her way over to a road there, and you can see she's staring. I knew there was something going on. I said, something's coming. And the sun changed the color of the video there. That's me adjusting my tripod. Amateur. There's this yelling cow that stepped out and gave me a little video here. So if it hadn't been for the deer, I probably wouldn't even have noticed it until I missed half of it. And this video turned out a little glitchy because I had my tripod. I got a pretty good tripod. It's a good portable, compact tripod, but I had it out all the way with legs out full, and I'm standing on a little knoll there, and there's a lot of wood chips around. It was hard to get it standing in a solid position. I really should have a weight hanging from it to keep it down, and the wind was blowing a little bit, and it's blowing it every now and then. I'm not that good at panning with it. I never really used it that much for panning. I usually just set the tripod up in a solid spot and use it that way. But I've used it for years that way, pretty good. But me using the handle on the camera to kind of control it, I'm not that practiced at it. A lot of times I just use my camera offhand, and just use it in places when I'm just kind of moving around filming. Just use it offhand, and I've actually got a elbow brace that I use, just a strap around my neck, and I rigged up a pocket for my elbow, and it actually helps me to hold it still. I'm actually pretty good at holding it still offhand. I would have done a lot better job. I just had done it that way. And I'm, like I said, an amateur when it comes to using the tripod that way. And I've done a lot of filming, even close-up stuff, and just offhand. But anyway, I got the footage anyway. So, but the wind was when I wasn't touching it. I mean, a lot of times I'm just touching it and bumping it and trying to follow this moose. There's a highway right there. I'm not going to say where it is, but it's just a point here. Is another, like I said, a reminder. I like to remind people to be careful driving, and the moose are always crossing the highways, and the fly season's just starting now, and they're getting pretty wicked. This evening here, I would say that they weren't too bad, but I spent another evening there and at night, and I didn't see anything, and they nearly drove me crazy. I had a head net on, and they still, the midgets would still get through it. Like I said, the moose, you got to be really careful you don't hit them, especially just before dark. Early morning is when they're doing a lot of their road crossing, and they like to just get on the roads and walk, because it's so much easier walking after tramping around the bush. They just, after a hard winter especially, they just get out there and just walk. And there's a lot of water areas around this area here on the edges of the roads, and little ponds and ditches, and they'll play in the smallest of ponds. And it's really dangerous because they can just appear and come up over a bank, or I mean, especially at night. I mean, you know, and turns and hills, and you just gotta have your high beams on all the time and watch for it. And I think a lot of these roads here where they salt them, the salt runs into these little ponds and ditches too and tracks them. Yeah, and I hope to get a few more moose videos here. I don't have a four-wheeler anymore, so it's a little harder for me to get around, but still going to try to get some footage. So, and then there's a little deer, my lucky little doe that warned me there was a moose coming. And so I guess we're at the end of the video, so later.